The web browser Google Chrome, and I'm going to basically compare it to some other web browsers. For example, Internet Explorer and Safari. I have Safari on here because it's a Mac. Internet Explorer is not actually available for Macs, but Safari is available for PCs. So I thought that'd be the best alternative. Firefox, I'll give my opinion on that right away. I just don't like Firefox. I know it's one of the most popular, if not the most popular web browsers around. It's just, it seems clumsy. It doesn't seem solid. It doesn't just seem as tight as Safari and Google Chrome seem to be. Maybe it's just because I don't actually know why. I just don't like the feel of it, and that's what you want in a web browser. For a web browser, you want it to be solid, clean, and just perfectly laid out the way you want. And Firefox just doesn't seem to do that for me. So I'm going to leave that out of the program. I'll maybe talk about it a bit as we go on, but it definitely won't be demonstrated here directly. So here's Safari. Here's Google Chrome. The layout is actually pretty similar, but I'm going to mostly focus on Google Chrome, obviously, as that's what I'm reviewing. So how Google search is done, instead of in Safari and most other web browsers, at the top right you have this Google search bar. You can also change it from different web browser or different search sites. You can also do the same in Google Chrome, which is kind of surprising in a way, just because Google seemed like they would make it so you have to search Google, but no, you have a selection between Yahoo Canada. If you're not in Canada, you probably have just Yahoo, and you also have Bing, which is Microsoft's alternative. And to me, it's actually quite junk. So is Yahoo. I don't like anything except Google, really, for a search engine, except for YouTube, if you consider that, which is also owned by Google. So, anyways, at the top here, and I always used to do this in Safari too. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so what I do here is in the address bar, I would type, "This is a cool web search." I click enter, and then the actual highlighted part down here would be highlighted just like it is. I click enter again, and there you go, that's the web search. I know it seems like a really inconvenient way to actually go about doing this, but it just seems so much easier just to click the center, big, long address bar on the top of the browser instead of going over to the corner here, double clicking, and I don't know, I don't do this anymore. It was just some habit I had a long time ago, but Google Chrome implemented this just brilliantly. They realized that if you have a space in the address bar, it's not going to work in an actual web address, so it just searches the web. Also, there's no extension. If you just type out one word, there's no extension. It's also going to search the web browser you choose. You can choose between Google, Yahoo, Bing. Pretty cool. So that is pretty good for the most part, except for this thing. So if you have autofill on as you're typing, for some reason it's not working right now, but as you're typing, it'll search Google constantly. But the bad thing is, as you can see here, that your first and even sometimes second web result are actually covered. So you have to click off to the side, and then you have to click over here on the site you want. It's almost quicker to just end up typing. If you want YouTube, like I do have YouTube in my bookmark, which we'll go over in a bit. But if you want YouTube, you might as well just type in .com. Like a lot of people probably do that anyways. I usually didn't in other web browsers, but I also usually just clicked on the bookmark I made in the toolbar. And yeah, I should go over this now. This is really cool. I know all web browsers have this, but I found it really easy converting over to Google Chrome, because what you do is you just import data from another browser. You click on that, you choose what browser you want. The only one I have is Safari. And you import browsing history, favorites / bookmarks, and if you have, like, for example, Firefox, I think it'll let you do save passwords and search engines, which is really cool. Safari just doesn't have the customizability to be able to do such a thing. That's the only reason why it's grayed out. The other thing I should go over right now is you can actually sync this. So you log into your Google account, and whenever you on any other laptop, computer, or whatever it may be that you have that can actually download Google Chrome, the full version of it, well, there is only one version right now, you can click this sync thing, and it syncs your bookmarks, and you can actually choose exactly what you want it to sync. You can do apps, autofill, bookmarks, extensions, preferences, and themes. I just click everything because why not? You wouldn't want something different on another computer unless it's maybe to do with business or something in that respect. Looking more into the actual settings in Google Chrome, I found this part a little confusing, how you actually open a web page with your default browser, because even though the toolbar is up there, I still want it to, when I make a new tab, to actually just open the Google site. I just think it's proper to actually open Google instead of having to go up in that search bar, even though it's basically the same thing what you're doing. That's something I don't really like. You actually can't customize this web browser too much, but I actually don't want to in the first place. You can to a certain degree. There are like slight apps I haven't really pondered too much, and there's also themes which I think would kind of ruin the idea of Google Chrome, because what do you want in a web browser is just, like I said, for it to be clean, for it to just be strong, and you don't want a bunch of clumsy stuff. That's why Internet Explorer basically failed, because it became so open that any company, when you install something on your PC, it would automatically have this little box check saying install this toolbar in Internet Explorer, and most people miss that. They'd have this like toolbar up at the top. It was the most annoying thing. Every time you open it, you would have to uncheck it, and a lot of people didn't even know how to do that. And if you actually wanted to get rid of it, you would have to go to add and remove programs under control panel, which just made it so it was the worst thing. And half the people didn't even know how to do that in the first place. Not that we should even have to in the first place. You should be able to just remove it right from the toolbar. And that's a small little rant I have to make about Internet Explorer and PCs in general. PCs they don't seem to be as neat and clean as Macs. Even the programs that are the same just don't seem to match up. Like Firefox, although I don't like it too much, it's better on Macs, even though it's the same. It's actually pretty much the same encoding, except for it's a .dmg file, so whatever they have to change from the execution file would be different in the actual programming of the program. So that's a separate side note on Firefox and Internet Explorer and PCs, but I'm going to get back to Chrome. So the last thing I'm going to say is what I like the most about this program. It seems kind of oversaid maybe, but the speed. I didn't really understand how a web browser could be faster than another at one time. I always thought, well, if you have a faster internet connection, it's going to be faster. It won't matter what web browser you're using. That'd be stupid. But it's true. Yes, internet speed is like the biggest factor, most definitely. But when you're actually being redirected to a site, you can just feel how much faster the redirects are, and it's just so much faster. I don't know really how to explain it more than that. It's just faster. Everything about it seems faster than Safari even, and I'm pretty sure Safari was one of the fastest web browsers like ever made. It is one of the most popular, so it seems right that it would be so, but this is definitely the fastest I've used. I'm not actually sure if it is the fastest technically, but it feels the best, and I definitely recommend using this. Another thing I want to talk about is history. It's not the biggest deal whether it's easy to use or not, but in some ways Chrome has the best way to search history, but probably the worst to actually delete history. Now, when you're deleting history, you probably only want to delete history if you want to delete all of it, or maybe just one or two, and that's what this is set up for. But if you want to delete a chunk like you would in Safari, you can't like select a whole bunch at a time, like search a term, select all and delete. You have to actually check each one and then click remove selected items. I know it's not the biggest thing to actually worry about, but that's one thing that's definitely not the greatest about Chrome, but again, it doesn't matter. Searching history is really easy. Say I want to search Gmail, it would come up in a nice list like this every time the term Gmails come up in a web search, and this is amazing. And I couldn't really say much more about it. It's actually laid out perfectly with the date beside each one, where the term was found on the web page, and everything like that. So definitely thumbs up to Google Chrome. I couldn't recommend this web browser anymore. The actual bad things I found about this web browser were pretty much scraping the bottom of the barrel. They were just things that I thought I'd have to point out, but the bad things aren't even significant to your web browsing experience. So definitely download Google Chrome right now. You won't be disappointed. It's for Mac, Linksys, and PC. It might even be for some other unheard of web browser. So definitely check this out. Like I said, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.